just like you, I too am involved in Arctic sea ice.
These $12 million of Arctic ice melt ads are not about the Arctic ice melt.
They are about the amazing possibilities for unlocking Arctic oil that have suddenly opened up.
You stand here in this house and you say this to me.
In my father's house. Yes. But no one's arguing with you, Rebecca, dear. Industry can and will be good stewards. As we exploit all possible sources of domestic oil and natural gas and clean coal, we pledge to be environmentally responsible. Oh, I'm an energy voter, is that something good?
Brilliant.
Just what does it mean?
You know, of course, everything.
In the Arctic, you can't clean up oil spills. There are no roads, no airports, no way in.
Well, you try your best. You hope for the best, too. Everyone now agrees with you. We put the environment first.
How can you believe in such
Because it's time for a little reality check. We fought a 9-year war in Iraq. We got squat. We're damn lucky the Arctic is opening up.
It feels like the hand of Providence. God is melting that ice.
Energy independence, that's the goal. We drill everywhere we can here at home, get that pipeline built for the tar sands oil, millions of jobs.
I cannot listen to this.
Oh, yes, you will.
We do have something we need to tell you, Rebecca.
I've heard quite enough, thank you.
A list. Depending on how far we need to go.
There's something John may not know.
Oh, if it's John's business, I think
Sit
John...
down, Rebecca.
Yes, why don't you, dear?
Oh, okay. We have a few things to say just to you. First off, about this place. Go ahead, Jean.
I think you have heard, Rebecca, that my father was ill for quite some time. Those were difficult years, and all that time, John was hardly ever around. Of course, Father, as was his habit, was extremely proud. He demanded nothing of John. And all that time, Father was weakening. In the end, he could do virtually nothing for himself. I don't want to go into detail, but I was young and very much alone.
I'm sorry I didn't know.
Of course not. Who would have told you? But I loved Father terribly, and suddenly something miraculous happened. Father began to appreciate my mind.
That's very nice.
It was, yes. I felt vindicated at last. And when he passed, I went out into the world, and I dare say I earned the respect of many
Oh, you
deserving.
sure have.
Thank you, dear. I love you, my angel, I do.
If this is what you wanted me to know,
Just one more thing, Rebecca. Before Father died, he said he wished to make me a gift, as a sign of his gratitude, he said, as a mark of his trust. Father rewrote his will. He left the northwest section of this land to me, alone.
and John doesn't know about this?
We thought you should be the one to tell him. He's so quick to fly off the handle.
John has always had the most ferocious temper. I think that is also why Father wanted me to have something for myself.
But how could John not know? If it is in the will, as you say.
Well, John paid very little attention in those days. The subject of the disbursement of the property didn't even enter anyone's mind.
So why should it now?
That northwest corner is pretty interesting, as it turns out.
How so?
Really, Rebecca, the only point I'm trying to make is that Father left the northwest section to me. The rest of the land is jointly held.
Are you planning to sell it off?
Not in your life.
Still, I think John had better take a very close look at that will.
I've told you the absolute truth.
I cannot believe that John never knew. I cannot believe that his father would have deceived.
Oh, really, Rebecca, it happened exactly as I said.
And there's not a damn thing John could do about any of it.
I wouldn't be so sure. Wills have been tampered with. John is a legal heir.
As am I.
I know for a fact the last time John saw his father, he did not recognize his only son.
My father asked me every day painfully when John would come.
Be quiet, Jean. Rebecca just thinks in this conspiratorial way. You see, we know about your work with Dr. West. And now there's this thing with the decimal point.
It was you on the phone.
Hardly. I don't make my own phone calls.
Who then? Some hired goon?
But dear, your decimal point is out of place.
But why would you care about that?
In the interest of true science, of course. Tell me, Rebecca, what was your father's name?
What does that matter?
Your mother and Dr. West were never legally married, yet the two of you took his name. When your mother died, you continued to live with Dr. West, as a dutiful daughter, of course, although Dr. West was not your father.
I used John's nature trick. Just what do you mean?
Answer the question, Rebecca.
It's a figure of speech.
Trick meaning what?
A neat idea.
A trick or...
No, a way of figuring. Something that works well and quickly.
Lies. Forgery.
Not so.
I used John's nature trick to show the death spiral on your paper where a crucial decimal point is now under dispute. Just what do you mean by that?
I have no idea.
But the words come from emails you sent.
I never use those words in a sentence.
They sound as if you pulled a fast one. Exaggerated your results to prove whatever you want. Do you normally just move things around or only when it's convenient, when John needs you to?
You've taken my words out of context.
John's nature trick. Those are your words on an email we have in our possession.
And now, most unfortunately, of course, John is also implicated.
Trick is a figure of speech. How did you read my emails? What is going on?
National security, I suppose.
Folks are upset. All this outrageous talk about, what do you hoaxers call it, the death spiral up in the Arctic? When all that's happening is some ice is melting, and a few good shipping routes have opened up because of that.
My emails has been hacked. My words taken out of context, and my decimal point has been moved.
I think the real sticky part is this forgery. The trick you played with your results for John's sake.
My figures are correct. Trick the results is an expression we use.
Because there is also that business about the problem with Dr. West's research.
But John knows all about that. I have told him everything.
Not quite everything.
Because you were once willing to cover up for Dr. West, John might have been all that more attracted to you.
Nonsense. I told John that Dr. West once exaggerated his results, and I confronted him.
But you did nothing.
There was nothing I could do. I was young, without even a bachelor's degree.
There's just one thing John doesn't know.
Oh, come, Frank, I don't think we need to go into that.
You can trust us. Dr. West wasn't your biological father after all. He was like a father, though, enough so that you covered up when he changed his results. And if you slept with him a few times, maybe more in the years after your mother died, it's no reason to ruin your life. Technically speaking, it wasn't incest. You weren't related.
How dare you say such things?
Of course, we realize no one ever quite knows the truth. Not even about science. Global warming is so very complex, is it not? As is one's personal life. It's difficult to assert one theory over another. One hot summer, a drought, melting ice. They don't really mean very much.
Just so you know your place.
We suggest discretion. And of course, we don't want you to compromise John.
I would never compromise John.
Good.
You don't have to tell him about the will. Although I'm quite certain you won't be able to hold your tongue. Either way, it doesn't matter to us. Sit tight. Events will play themselves out.
We're ever so much more fortunate than we even thought. There are massive natural gas deposits underground on this very land.
No. John would never allow such a thing. Nor would Uncle.
You don't get it. John has nothing to say.
There will-
Uncle is a servant.
There will be no fracking here.
Yes, there will.
No. Why would you do such a thing, huh? Don't you have enough money?
Whoever has enough.
Oh, hush, dear. It's not the money, although the money will be nice. Frank and I support many very worthwhile charitable organizations and cultural events. But, Rebecca, the real reason is that we are in the energy business. I'm a public relations consultant to the industry. If I were not to allow natural gas drilling on my own land, what sort of message would that send?
We've got to drill, baby. Drill.
That will never happen. Never!
Yes, it will.
You wish to discredit John through these slanders about me, so he won't fight the forged will.
Very smart, because you did cover up for Dr. West after you slept with him.
Please stop!
Oh, come, Rebecca. Scientists don't run the world.
She's right. You and John should shut up. You should stop exaggerating things.
Rebecca?
Right on cue.
Go, John, please, I can't talk to you now.
We'll leave the two of you to work things out.
This paper of yours is perfect. Forget the bloody decimal point. Next time your stalker calls, tell him to go to hell. Rebecca, this new work of yours is precisely what I need. You've connected the dots. I just called a press conference.
I'm frightened, John.
Well, don't be. My bell curve of extreme weather events speaks to increased probability only, while you, Rebecca, have found the link between these weather events and the Arctic ice melt. So because of you, we do know the future. As the ice melts, the jet stream elongates, weather conditions get stuck. I mean, our health, our homes, our food supplies are at stake across the globe. Nowhere is safe. Mass extinctions, massive refugee populations. See, there's your death spiral. That's the tipping point. The public, at last, will demand action. There's nothing left for rational people to do.
But we are not rational beings, John.
That's no excuse for not being able to think.
I can't think
Well,
anymore.
then don't talk, just listen. Rebecca, the political solution is brilliantly simple. We put a price on carbon fuel.
Amphibian means two lives. Come from water to the air. Now Sniffly goes to a third. What is that, I wonder?
Annie, I am so sorry.
No, you're not. Papa didn't even know.
Yes, I did, my dear. I'm very sorry.
Sniffly lived far past his allotted time in my care. His children and their children remain. The pond is populous. And what's most remarkable in these times is most of the tads are healthy. Some, of course, are not. Still, Uncle and I control the small ecosphere like demigods. He was my favorite guy. Or girl. His 6 legs and his gonads made him forever special.
A burrow.
Yes, he was the most like me. Sometimes it happens like that, you know, two creatures stare across species, there is no common language, there cannot be, yet he knew, I knew, Sniffly knew. He and I were kindred spirits. As long as Sniffly was alive, I was never alone.
Indeed, dear.
I'm going to go bury Sniffly now. I think I shall prepare a pyre. Since he lived in air and water, he will go out in fire.
May we come?
Yes, I believe that would be appropriate. He was
Part of the family. In all these years, you have never fixed this door. How do you expect people to wake up to climate change?
What's come over you? At our moment of triumph, when we can finally speak as one voice, as my colleague. No, you as lead researcher. That's a title I've never ceded before.
Use the work, yes, John. That would please me very much.
After the press conference, we will get married, huh? Something simple. No fuss. It'll be better for Annie and for us.
No, John, stop. After Sniffly's funeral. Oh, John, I think I I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're scared of your own success, I understand, but it is I who am now able to give support and comfort and courage to you. We're not lemmings. We won't leap off the cliff. Suddenly I know we can fix this.
It's too late, John.
No, I told you I figured it out. We put a price on carbon fuel.
We?
Yes, we, the people. We tell the government to. We charge the emitters at the source, at the mine shaft, at the well, at the port of entry for the damage they do. Fossil fuels finally cost their true price, and here is the best part. We redistribute that money equally to every person in the country. We bypass party politics. The cost of fossil fuels goes sky high. Renewables of all sorts come within reach. People vote with their pocketbooks.
It's a good idea, John.
Well, it's clear and simple, and it's all because of your work, Rebecca.
The ideas don't matter anymore.
Oh, nonsense.
I'm going for a walk.
All right, Miss, you take some time for yourself, but I tell you, it was joy that I felt. As dire as your predictions are, it is joy that I'm feeling.
John.
I tell you, all at once, it all fell into place like this beautiful cosmic design.
John.
Hmm?
You must let me go.
I'm going to fix that door, Uncle!
You've heard of Sniffly's demise?
Yes, I have. Will you finally, kindly fix this door?
That door cannot be fixed. It's slammed since your father's tongue.
Well, you will fix it. What is this ridiculous outfit you're
I wear the
wearing?
skins. I wear the skins of the deer you killed.
Oh, my God.
I stitched them for years.
Well, you look absurd.
Some use must be made of waste. We neglected to eat her meat. Screws and a new spring, I shall put them on my list.
Thank you very much.
However, I must provide you with fair warning. I fix what needs fixing first. I am standing perpendicular to the good earth for but a flash. Sniffly's loss reminds us how fleeting life is. Though Sniffly lived long and well, he populated a pond with his descendants. He had friends across species. He devoured his fair share of insects. Solar, wind, and wave, these alone shall endure, sufficient unto our needs and for those who come after. As soon as Sniffly has been mourned, I shall return to my last great work upon my hill. Yes, John, great work, I tell you. I shall not be moved. I saw surveyors up there with frank and hard hats.
Doing what?
But it is no matter. I, John, am constructing a wind farm on the northwest corner. Not only this small domain, but the whole town below will be able to exist on nature's endless bounty. A beacon to all. The solar panels were the cause of my last lameness. The wind turbines will be the source of my death, but the winds will blow for eons and eons. Eternity will be here, on earth where it belongs.
Well, what? Whatever's wrong with Rebecca?
She's taking a walk.
She's a beauty. Best to give her her head, John, like a fine mare. Loosen up.
Thank you for your advice.
There's no need for this.
What?
Hostility. Burning, you know, underneath that oh-so-proper front. Like I'm a peasant, and you're some sort of Oxford Don. Hatred, I'd even go that far. You're an angry man, John.
Well, on the contrary,
A sore loser, too.
Really, I feel that we are finally poised on the verge of winning at the last fatal moment.